Okay, I hope the wife is not mad that I chose to buy trading cards and not a house like she always wanted. Oh, ho, ho, baby! Okay, we got a real deck now. No more playing traps or playing bad Lightsworn cards. Cards that I picked up for my extra deck, we have a card I'm not going to use. We got 3 cards that I might use. Can't wait to not use this card either. 1 worm and 2 other worms because these cards are insane. This one that I can use if I remember the combo. 1 big guy, 1 big sword, a bigger sword, and then 2 other swords. So some expensive cards we got. We of course got 3 Ecclesia. We got 3 guy that gets summoned off of Ecclesia. Another guy you could probably summon off of Ecclesia. Some Tayas, which you can also summon off of Ecclesia. Emergence. This card that I just never read before. And this card I definitely have not read before, but probably won't even play. 2 cards because we didn't have the 3rd one. All right, we don't use any of these cards, so trash. What do I put in this deck that just isn't Swordsoul? Tenyis. Thankfully, because of careful booking, I actually already have all the Tenyi cards. I didn't have to go and buy any. We have all of our Tenyis. We have all of our Swordsouls. We got a good chunk of the extra deck that we're probably going to use. What do I use next? Expensive staples. Okay, this didn't cost my arm. This card I already had because I pulled these in packs because you definitely buy packs and not singles. Right, Simo? Not the most expensive card, but also just the best fucking card in this format. And what competitive deck is not a competitive deck without its brick? Okay, so we have all of the Tenyis and our brick. We have all of our Swordsouls and its compliances, except for the second blackout. We actually don't use you because you're trash. Basically all of the extra deck, I believe this is cards 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Oh yeah, we're definitely going to be winning games today. Okay, so we need to have some tokens for this deck too. So we got tokens. Now that that's all settled, we got tokens, we got extra deck, we got our bricks, and then we got all the sword souls, and we have cards that we're just not gonna play. So there's something that we're just missing for this deck. Hand traps. I feel like this is a good number of hand traps. So we got 3 nibs, 3 ash, 3 ogre, and you know what? These are all just filler. I think Ghost Bell might be good. I also think Valor might be good. Imperms might be good. But what if like I lose the die roll and these hand traps just don't happen to be in my hand for some reason? Dark Ruler no more, it is. This should be able to break my Flundery's opponent. Trap decks are a problem at locals because, you know, I'm not going to any events because California sucks. Just throw these in, why not? They seem versatile enough. And let's just throw in a Pot of Desires, because why not? It's at 1. I can't wait for the people at locals to cry now when I play a meta deck. But the problem is, I don't know how to play this deck. Oh, hey, what's up, you guys? How's it going? It's Papa, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my 5th place Swordsoul Tenyi deck profile that I did take to my locals. And again, yes, I did get 5th place with it. I was just 1 spot shy of top 4 cut. And I'm going to be honest, this was the first time I played this deck. I've done like maybe a few test stands at home, maybe like a little bit online. But in person, playing with friends, playing in a tournament, this is the first time I've ever done it. So I really like this deck a lot. It was a good way for me to find out like how good this deck actually is and like how I want to play the deck. Little disclaimer though, I'm not the most best person with this deck, nor do I feel like you should be like fully copying this list, because it was just a meta call that I wanted to do for my locals. And everyone's locals is different, but I am going to be attending the LA regional, and I've been trying to play test different decks that I wanted to play. And so I played this today. And I really like the playstyle of it. It might be the deck that I take to the regional, but I'm not too sure because I know the Albaz structure deck will be out by then. And when that's out, I might want to be playing Eldritch. I might want to be playing something else. I'm not too sure yet, but this is a really good first run for the deck. And I really liked how it played. And without further ado, we'll just go ahead and jump right into it. Starting off with the main deck, we do play 3 copies of Incredible Ecclesia, the Virtuous. So this card was really busted. My deck was strictly Ghost second. And I found playing this card at 3 was definitely ideal. I mean, it's very, very standard to play this at 3, but since I was mainly going second, I never really needed to normal summon this, unless it was to like bait out certain cards. But 3 of this was very key. I'm glad I played 3. I mean, I'm sure everyone else plays 3, but you know how it goes. 3 copies of Moye, again, same reasoning. I feel like you have to play this card at 3, especially going second, getting that extra card in hand, being able to just reveal instead of discard like Longyuan. This card was really busted. My draws off of this were insane today. I drew like Emergence after searching Blackout. I drew multiple hand chops off of this. This was a really great card in my deck, and Definitely has to be at 3. 3 long one, of course. Shouldn't have to really explain too much. I mean, the card's busted. Being able to make Baron de Flora, being able to make the new rank 10, or not rank 10, Synchro 10 monster is really good. And then that burn effect actually does come up. I did have a tie against one of my opponents. I went X1-1 today at locals, and one of it was because I chose to go second when I could have just Wong for damage. But I don't like to win that way. I wanted to be able to like just stick to my roots, play the way that I intended the deck to be played today. And if I would have done that, yeah, I would have stolen a win, but I don't like that. I don't think that's a really good way to play this game. So 3 long 1. And then standard 2 tie it. This is a really standard list. I know that you've probably seen a bunch of Swordsoul lists online. I do play a few different cards than most, but this was very self-explanatory, your average Swordsoul lineup. And I think for the Tenyis, they were also like basically the same. 3 Ashuna, 3 Adhara, and then 2 of the Vishuddha and 1 of the Shatana. So I think going forward, I want to make room for a 3rd Vishuddha if I'm going to be going second. I also did play Despot. I don't think the Halka Firebox combo was really that good. I ended up siding out the Despot every game 2 and game 3 because I felt like you didn't really need it because I was never summoning more than 5 times, so I never really had to worry about Nibiru unless I was just going for game. But when you clear your opponent's board and then you just make your own plays, they usually just don't have anything left in the tank. And by doing that, you can just basically resolve with your Tenyis and your Sword Souls. Those will do the work for you. Adding this to your deck just adds an extra brick, and I don't like that. I don't like that this card doesn't really do anything going second. So I think going forward, I'm just going to take it out. Same with Shatana. I didn't really think this card was that good either because I ended up negating my opponent's field most of the time. So the destruction effect just never came up. It only came up like maybe like once or twice where I was able to just like use this to synchro for 8. But even then, it's not really that good. I think I'll probably just cut it going forward. So that's it for like all the worms, the engine pieces, all that. For the fun part, we have all the hand traps. So I was on triple Nibiru for this tournament. It's standard. You see this in every list. Probably the weakest hand trap that I played today was Ash. I don't think playing 3 of this was really correct. I mean, it's local, so you have to respect that people are playing this. And they're playing rogue for the most part. I didn't really see any rogue today. Everything was basically really meta. I played against Base, Dryton. Adamantipator was probably like the most rogue one that I played against. That was actually the one that I lost to, or not lost to, but tied with in time. Played against Virtual World, and the last one I played was Flunderies. But Ash was just like really subpar. I don't know. Maybe it was just this one tournament where I didn't like it. The next one I go to, I'll probably just go ahead and play this again. See how it works. And then by far the best hand trap was definitely Ogre. Ogre overperformed, didn't really cause any issues. I thought it was really busted. The other card, I guess this is worth mentioning too, I played 3 Imperm. I was going to do Valor, but I just thought like Imperm was better for since you are going second, you want to be able to hit the scythe when your opponent draws or like scythes you during your turn. So having this in response to Scythe is really good. I want to make room for Chalice in this deck, I really do, but the Imperms were really good. I never saw Imperm when my opponent went Scythe, so that kind of sucks, but I was still able to play, so it is what it is. That's it for the hand traps. We're going to move on to the spell cards. We play 3 Vezel. This card is insane. I can't believe how good this card actually is. I definitely did side one out every now and then though, but that's just because when I was setting out the Despot, I didn't feel the need to summon the extra Tenyis. So I did side out one of these with like an Ashuna, with an Adhara a couple of times just because it wasn't really that mandatory. And since you are going second, you don't really need to rely on Halka Firebox combos. You can if you want, if you like that kind of playstyle. I don't like that playstyle with this deck, at least the way that I built it. It's all personal preference, but I think going forward, I'm going to cut the Tenyis down, but still play 3 of this because this card was actually just insane. Speaking of insane cards, this card is cracked. I don't know who thought that this was a good idea to print, but this card is really good. Being able to search a Swordsoul monster, and then if I control a Synchro, I get to add a Worm monster as well. So that's like, or not as well, instead, sorry. It's a really busted card. I like this card a lot. I definitely drew this a lot off of a couple rips, off of Desires, off of Moye. I definitely drew this card a lot, and I'm glad because this card is just cracked. One of the best cards that performed in my deck was triple Dark Ruler No More. I get like the whole like effect damage, My opponent takes no burn. Like, it's fine. It doesn't really matter too much. I think it's okay to just max out on this at 3. If you have droplets, play droplets. I think, honestly, like, this was fine. I really like this card a lot in the deck, just being able to shut off everything. There was, like, a misplay I had with this card, but it's whatever. It didn't really matter too much. I still ended up winning the match. But I really do like this card in the deck. I think I'll play it going forward. And then for 1-ofs, we played 1 Call by the Grave, and then 1 Desires. I drew this card so many times. One of my favorite cards in the deck. And then 1 Blackout. So that's it for the main deck. I believe it was 45 cards in the main deck. Going to the extra deck, I think it's like really self-explanatory, kind of standard. But my Bandai tokens for my Swordsoul cards, these were fun to use. I never get to use my Bandai cards, so it was nice to have like an actual use for them today. For the extra deck, we do play 2 Shishao, and then after that we play the this guy was fucking crazy. I can't believe how good this card is. And then 1 Tenyi. I never used this card for game. I never got to the point where I needed to summon this. Against the mirror, this card's broken, but against everything else I played against, it wasn't really like that necessary. I never saw the need to summon it. But again, I could be wrong. I could have just made my plays wrong because this is a really good card. I just didn't summon it. So that's it for the Sword Souls. For other generic synchros in the deck, we do play the Baron de Fleur. We have a Draco Berserker. This card's cracked. This card I summoned a couple times today. Really good card. 1 Arclight, because we were playing Haka Fibers combos, but I only summoned it once during the like little bit of playtesting I had before the tournament started. And even then, it was cute. I just feel like, again, if you want to play Despot combo, play Despot combo, but I didn't really like Despot combo, so I'm taking this out. What I'm going to take this out for is a Chaofeng. You should definitely be playing Chaofeng in this deck. I just didn't play it for some reason, and I did miss it during the tournament. So definitely cut this for Chaofeng if you're not going to go Despot route. If not, then you could cut another card in the extra deck when I get to it. But that's all those. For the worms, Yazi and double Baxia. I think I only made Baxia once today, and it was okay. I didn't really need it for the rest of the tournament because all my other cards just kind of stopped my opponent. And when you make Baxia, yeah, it's cool, but when all your other cards in your deck just get rid of other cards and get rid of another card, and you don't really need to spin anything back with Baxia. Yazi was really good today. I made Yazi a lot. This was a really busted card. Definitely liked it a lot. Other than that, we played for the links. We played 2 Monk and 1 Shaman. I never saw myself needing the 3rd Monk. That could change though when I decide to drop the Helka Fiber extension. This was the one that I played in place of the Chaofeng. Again, I just didn't have a Chaofeng in my collection. I couldn't find one, and then I just let it slip my mind. And then right before the tournament started, I was thinking, oh shit, I need a Chaofeng, and I just didn't get one. So my fault there. It is what it is. But going forward, I would definitely cut the Shaman for Chaofeng. And then the last 2 goofy cards we played was Haka Firebax and a Dorodon, but these cards are not staying in the deck. I don't like these cards. That's it for the extra deck. For the side deck, it is very, very self-explanatory. 3 Gamma and a Driver. This was honestly really good. I never have good luck with Gamma, but Gamma was surprisingly one of the worst hand traps. Driver actually won me a game because I had to out a token collector, so I just tributed for Driver, and I was able to do it. So that was fun. Other than that, that was the only heart attack I had all day. But these cards are busted. I think going forward I'll play them again. Definitely the best hand trap of the format probably is Lancia. Just being able to stop the mirror, being able to stop the base deck, stop Virtual World. Flunderies loses hardcore to this card, and it's really busted. If you can resolve Lancia, it's game over. 3 Twins. I didn't use this card at all. I never saw the need to use it. I didn't play any trap decks, so that could just be why I didn't use it. I decided it once against the Flunderies opponent, but never saw it and just realized I don't need this card. So I decided to back out for game 3 when I lost game 1. But Twin, I just don't think I'll play going forward. I think if anything, I'll make room for Droll and Lockbird. That is a card that I do want to play because it's really good right now. Twin Twister just wasn't it for me. Same with Harpy's Feather Duster and Red Reboot. They just didn't come up, but I think going forward, I'll just keep these and take these out just because it wasn't that good. And like these are just hardcore, like, hey, you draw it, you lose. And then same with this card, Evenly Matched. I cited him once, didn't see it, but it didn't matter because I still ended up winning the game anyway. But I do like what this card can do, and it definitely catches Rogue by surprise when you use it. So I want to make sure like I have like some form of out to a trap deck. I would want to be able to respect it because I am a trap player. But yeah, other than that, the deck was really good. I really liked this deck a lot, and I think going forward, it is something that I am just going to keep playing, just going to keep like tweaking it around, doing different combos, doing different like builds, and just see if we can get comfortable enough to play for the regional. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning into the deck profile. Let me know what you think I can change in the deck in the comments section down below. And until next time, guys, this has been Papa, and I will catch you all in my next video. Take care, everyone.